Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Melissa and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. One of my tips is to bulk up your meat and your protein dishes with lentils or beans. So I'm doing a short series on some of the recipes I do and how that saves me money. So I remember years ago reading about it was on my kid's like baby food jar or something. I can't remember, like his green beans or his peas or something. And it was essentially you added like the pureed baby food and the baby food dry oatmeal mix with the ground beef to make your meatloaf. And so I was thinking about that, I don't know, a few years ago. And I thought, well, why couldn't I do it with like lentils? So I went ahead and I added the lentils and I really liked it. And I gradually kind of bulked it up with things like sweet potatoes and carrots. I am not a good veggie eater, so any way I can sneak veggies into my diet, I try. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. It's a really quick, easy process. One will be cooked tonight. Most of them will be frozen for later. And then I'll just have to pull the whole meatloaf out, like that'll have been vacuum sealed, and put it to defrost and then stick it in a pan, throw it in the oven. It's super easy, super affordable. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first is I took some of the heels of my bread. Alternatively, you can use breadcrumbs. But I had one from my kids' potato bread, one from my wheat, and then a couple of little ones from the sourdough. So you don't have to toast them, but I'm going to. It's optional. So then while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and put some lentils in, or actually, you know what? I'm going to get started with the liquid ingredients first. 1 egg, about 1 to 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, maybe more than 1 to 3 tablespoons of the sauce that I hate to pronounce. You can also use breadcrumbs, and if I don't have enough, I will use breadcrumbs. Some of my seasoning salt. 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to want about a cup of the lentils, and I don't want to get the liquid in there so much, so I'm using the 1/4 cup to kind of be able to drain it as I do it. And you can also adjust this. I have done as much as 50% lentils and 50% beef. You know what? I think I might actually keep it at 235 grams. No, that's not even 10 ounces. So yeah, I'm going to do a full cup. Okay, so it's a little more than a cup. It is 338 grams. Then I am adding 66 grams of sweet potatoes. And also you want to roast the sweet potatoes and carrot. You can shred them, you can dice them. I'm just going to kind of mash them in there. 31 grams of carrots. I probably should have pre-mashed them, but I wasn't thinking. Toasting is also optional. I just like to toast my bread before I put it in. It kind of dries it out a little bit so that it helps to soak up all the wet ingredients. Onion I already diced. I'm just going to use some of my frozen onion. I'm not even going to bother to thaw it. It should be fine. Meatloaf is one that I really do a lot by more so just, I guess, feel. So that's 94 grams of onion. And so then you can kind of see it's all, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to kind of want to break this carrot up more. Because otherwise I'm going to have like a huge chunk of carrot and then I'm going to be cranky. Okay. So now my gloves are going on. I have 2 pounds of ground beef, too, that I'm adding. And it's just the 85.15 that I got for about $2 a pound. I'm going to really quickly actually smash up the carrot somewhat. I forgot I had frozen onions in there. I was afraid I didn't cut the lentils enough. And then again, you don't have to wear gloves. I do. Some people do, some people don't. If you are cooking for others, then it's just kind of a general courtesy. I'm going to make these into individual meatloafs with about 2 servings each because my kid doesn't eat meatloaf at all. So I'll have chicken nuggets or something when I have meatloaf. I like to mix the meat in with the wet ingredients. Get everything thoroughly incorporated. And I found it's easier to kind of make them in bulk like this. So that it spreads the egg out. Because otherwise there's just too much egg to deal with. You know, you're looking at like 1/3 a pound burger or something. And versus this kind of gets it all incorporated. I think my hands have gotten smaller because all of my latex gloves feel way too big. Just kind of a weird spot to lose weight, but whatever. Okay, so you can see everything's pretty much incorporated. A lot of it's also going to be done by feel. You're going to want to, like, it's a texture thing. I don't know, you just know. If you've made meatloaf before, you know. I can't describe the texture. It's more malleable than just plain burgers because you have all that liquid in there. So, but yeah, like, you still want it to be able to form a ball and hold a ball even before the bread goes in. Then I'm going to just break up this bread by hand and add it in to the mixture to help absorb some of the liquid. I find this is also a great way to use heels of bread that you might not otherwise use. You can save them, or you can make like stuffing with them. You could, in theory, freeze them. Save them up for when you need them. Because like this was like on my wheat bread, and it's just like too small. Who's gonna eat that? You can't really like use it for anything. It was like 10 grams of bread. And a normal slice is 28 to 32 grams, FYI. Okay, so now I've got all the bread ripped up. And I'm just going to, again, I know, these clothes are so stinking annoying. Kind of like, I don't know, fold it, mix it, I don't know. I'm not a chef. I don't know all the right terms, but you do want to kind of get it evenly throughout. So then this I could, if I was cooking for more than one person, I could have that set as a loaf, put it in a pan, and go. But I am cooking for just one person, so I'm going to get it divided. Okay, so now I have it all set up to make. I want to be able to weigh them out, and then I also have the bags that I have pre-labeled, and then I'll figure out how many ounces they are. But I kind of need to know how big I need to put it to fit in there, because this is my pan that I plan on cooking it in. So, you know what? I think I'm going to make them like 1 pound meatloafs. And I'll put it in this bag that is now clearly way bigger than what I actually needed. Oh my gosh, did I? No, I did not do it backwards. But it doesn't even have to stay perfect in the bag, because you can kind of like shape it per se in the bag as well. So then it's shaped in the bag, and I can continue to kind of shape it as I vacuum seal it, and then it'll defrost pretty easy. So I'm going to just do that with all of them. Okay, so I have 3 16-ounce meatloafs, and then, or 3 1-pound meatloafs, and then an 11.4. So this one's kind of tiny, but that's okay. I could have had, what, 4 15-ounce meatloafs? Okay, so that one's set. I'm going to go ahead and get it set to bake once I get my gloves off and get stuff cleaned up a bit. Okay, so now with the final one, I'm just going to stick it in the oven at 375 for, I'm going to start with 20 minutes. I think it's going to be like 30. You know what? I'm going to start with like, yeah, I'm going to start with 20. I think it's 30 if I remember correctly, but I don't. So, and I forgot to write it down, which is tough when you create recipes, because I actually did do. Okay, so I completely goofed and forgot to, I created this recipe years ago, and I haven't had it in probably a year or so, and I forgot to write down, and I used to make it all the time, and I'd make it like one individual helping and had issues with the eggs and everything, and so I did it so often because I was doing it like every other week or so, that I just remembered. And I never thought to write it down. Like, I have it like, I don't know. I put it in a PowerPoint presentation. It's probably stuck on OneDrive somewhere because I deleted my Microsoft account. But, so I'm kind of guessing at the temperature, and that's okay, because as you're learning to cook on your own, I mean, I'm getting my grandma's cookbook, my great grandma's cookbook. So my great grandma was 96 40 years ago, so 136 years old, and I'm pretty sure she inherited it from somebody, though it might have been a wedding gift, so it's like at least 116 years old. So this is this green cookbook, and it's so old that some of the temperatures are literally measured in like seconds per hand. So instead of saying like the oven needs to be 350 degrees, it's you know, a 3-second hand or a 4-second hand, like how long you can keep your hand in that oven before it gets too hot. So which is really cool to me. So I guess with modern technology, I should remember to write down my temperatures and times, but I will put that in like all the little, when I go and put, the little things on the side with all the notes. And if I remember, I'll put the recipe in the description. Okay, you can see there's about 3 minutes left on the oven. I like to put ketchup on my meatloaf. Some people put sauce. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. And then I really like the way it tastes like when it's cooked or whatever. Okay, so about 35 grams of ketchup. I'll just kind of let that melt onto there. I'm going to let it cook for about 7 minutes more so that the ketchup can kind of like really cook onto there. That's my thing. Okay, so probably could have let the ketchup be on a little earlier, but it's okay. I'm going to put it on a different plate and see how much it weighs. And that way I can get some accurate calorie counts for you. Oh, still in grams. Okay, it didn't cook down as much as I thought it might. It was 11.4, now it's 10.9, plus I did put an ounce of sauce on, so I lost maybe 2 ounces, but I think it was because the you can see, well, no, you can't see, let me lift it up. You can see though there's not a ton of fat in there. I mean, there is, but because the beans take up some of the weight, there's not as much fat in the thing, nor does it cook down as much. So I'll get those calorie counts figured out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry, I had to eat. I was super hungry. I hadn't eaten since like, I don't know. So we did the math and figured it out. That 11.4 ounce meatloaf, the mini meatloaf, ended up becoming 10.9 ounces cooked. So about 5.5 ounces per serving would make sense. And then you figure you're going to get like 10 to 11 servings out of the 3 meatloafs plus that. And then it's going to be about 279 calories on a 5.5 ounce serving. And then I also figured out the cost. So I'm going to actually try and go, let's see, I'll try and go to this side maybe and just like have all of this stuff over there, because I'm always like trying to get it around my head. So maybe I'll try and plan ahead this time. So I have the 2 pounds of the 85/15 ground beef that I used, and that was $3.96. The lentils, about 17 cents worth of lentils. The egg was 29 cents, and then about 25 cents for the miscellaneous stuff, like the little bit of carrot and sweet potato I used, and the ends of the bread and stuff. So that was $4.67 divided by 11. That's 42 cents a serving. You could throw this with some homemade mashed potatoes or roast potatoes or baked beans or any number of different sides, and have a complete meal for relatively cheap. You could roast some in-season veggies, maybe a root veggie medley. I know I'm really into root veggies. It's kind of the only veggie I really eat. Onions, peppers, and root veggies. So there's a lot of ways. I mean, you could seriously, even if you ate twice as much, and that, I mean, to me that's a lot, but maybe not. I mean, maybe it's just because of how I eat, but to me, I feel like my meat dish should be, lower in calories, just because, I don't know, I mean, I try and keep my meals at the 300 to 500 calorie range, depending on what meal it is. So at $2.79 for your meat serving, and it does have some like veggies and fiber and stuff in there. It kind of gives you that nice leeway. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe. And I will also be sharing recipes along the way. Feel free to take any of my recipes that I have and make them your own. Alter them to your own taste. You don't like sweet potatoes? Fine. Put regular potatoes in. I don't care. I mean, it's about what you like. If you if you happen to have parsnips in your garden, you know, try those. I really like the sweet potatoes and carrots in it. But um you know, you don't have to, I mean, use what you have, kind of alter it to your tastes and what you like and modify it. I mean, if you don't like ketchup as a sauce, that's fine. It definitely is like really, I don't know, it's not really what you think of for um a more gourmet, obviously, but sometimes it's good to have like the home cooked simple meals that remind you of childhood. Even though a lot of places put fancier sauce on meatloaf, I mean, it's a burger. It's a burger that you cook in the oven and cook it as a loaf. So to me, I feel like ketchup is more than appropriate. So I have some leftover. I'll probably have like a meatloaf sandwich tomorrow, and it's a super affordable meal. It's a great way to sneak veggies in. It's a great way to sneak veggies in if you have kids who don't eat veggies. If they are texture sensitive, they definitely will notice. You can like I mean, I notice them, but I'm not bothered by the texture of beans or root vegetables. So it helps. But it is definitely a way to kind of like sneak some extra veggies into your kids' diet or your diet if you are like me and are a grown person and still hate veggies. So yeah. Anyways, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Along the way, I'll also share some recipes. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe. In 2025, I will be posting 1 to 3 videos a day. So if you want to know when I post, please go ahead and hit that little bell notification. And YouTube's supposed to let you know. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.